Hello and welcome back to my canal. So you must have seen the first part on me building the HMS Victory 1 to 200. If you haven't watched, go and watch it. And in this episode we're gonna complete it doing the rigging the mast and all the other bits. So let's introduce the channel and then we get on with it. So as you remember, last time I bought myself a little latte, a little late, to sort of shape the masts in a more precise and controlled way than they would be if just doing it by hand. That was quite easy because they were quite big. Now I got to the point where I need to do these little ones that from 0.3 they need to go down to 0.2, and the pointer one end is too big. Even if it was smaller it wouldn't support. Even doing this one, when they had to go down from 6 to 4.5, I sort of peeled it a little bit. It just escaped a little bit at the front. So what I'm gonna do for this one is just activate it and use two sandpaper sticks, one at the top and one at the bottom, and sort of whittle it like this. Let me show you. So as you see now, this is supposed to go through this hole here. That's from 3 to 2. I mean, that's the 2. See if we got it. Well, clearly I need to remove it from here, otherwise I won't be able to do it properly. But yeah, maybe just a tiny bit more. I don't want it to be like a toothpick, I want it to be uniform. But yeah, maybe just a tiny bit more. Maybe this bit I can even do it by hand. Let's see. Anyway, you might have noticed that I got the late set inside spraying boots, just to avoid any dust going all over the place, which helps a bit. I mean, it's not much dust, it's mostly on top of the thing, and then it's gonna be collected by this newspaper underneath, but that makes me feel safer. Well, I'm struggling to make sense of the measurements of the boot. So they're supposed to be 1.5 millimeter, and the thinnest one I got is this one here, which is around 2 millimeters. Even be more than 2. It's like a 2.1. Well, yeah, let's call it 2 millimeters. But it's the thinnest I got, and I need to use it for the two sticks, then 2 sticks and 2 sticks, and adding up how much I need for that, I set aside these 4 here. It's gonna be enough. Then I will have to use as a 2mm, but then if I use it as a 2mm, I got it, because then what I need to do come up on these things with a big one in the small one, and then instead of doing the big one in the big hole, still a little bit different. Big one in the small one, and then use one of these ones. It doesn't really fit, but whittle it down to put it there, just because the hole is it is a bit tight. So I'm gonna do it upside down. So the one at the bottom, from the bottom in the small hole, the one from the top in the big hole. But even then, all the other boots are very precise. I've got a 4mm, and that's the only 4mm stick I got. It's supposed to be 93 plus 132. And there's exactly this one. We're not even half millimeter on margin. So I'm gonna do this one first and then prepare the other ones. But yeah, it takes a little bit of working around it. Because of tolerances on turning wood at the factory, I would have imagined that this one was a 1.5, these are 2, and these are 3. So I put 1 line, 2 lines, and 3 lines, just to recognize it compared to the other ones. But then if they're exactly the same, it's not like it's been whittled down, it's just a perception that this one is bigger, but it's not. So it's not supposed to be an accurate reproduction, but I want it to be as accurate as possible. It still seems to be that this one is better. The one on the left a little bit bigger than the one on the right, but it's more perception than anything else. I think I found a solution to the problem with the help of AI, of course, because we are in 2025. Probably it's going to be 2026 by the time I finish this model. But anyway, these smaller sticks, they are, each one is in millimeter 148 long. Now if I look, all the pieces, they're supposed to be 1.5 diameter. I go 2 by 50, 2 by 70, 2 by 42, and 2 by 60, which perfectly organized. It will use 3 sticks, leaving me with 3 other sticks. Now, is there any combination that I can arrange the ones with a 2mm diameter in a way that I can use them all? I did try to put all the even differentiating the sticks going up with the sticks going sideways to see which one was more important. So I had 69, 51, 89, 75, 84, 72, and 74 to find if it was possible to divide it by 6, not exceeding 148, and the total is about 100 more. So I needed to take off 100 millimeters, 10 centimeters of the total. And the pieces that I've chosen, because I had to choose 2 pieces, I've chosen 2 pieces that probably will not affect the look of the model if I were using a thicker, a 3mm instead of a 2mm. So it's gonna be the this bit here on the main mast sail pole. So it's gonna be 2 by 3 millimeters instead of 1 by 3 or 1 by 2. No big deal. I think I can live with it. And then the other one, I used the front sail on the gaff. That's another one. There won't be a big deal. So it's gonna be 3 millimeter at the back, 2 millimeter at the front. And if I remove these two, I can arrange all the others to fit in between the 6 sticks. I use all the small sticks for the 1.5 and the 2 millimeter, which I think is optimal. I taken a picture of it and I'm gonna put it over here, and then you can read the combination that I used. I'm not taking any credit for it. Of course, it's all AI credit. And I'm gonna cut down the pieces to size now and proceed a little bit longer. Well, I can't even trust AI anymore. I did the first 4 bars, it was fine. Bar number 5, I was supposed to do 60, 50, 42. And then I cut off the 60, and 50 and 42 don't fit together, because I go total like just over 90, 94 something. And I say, oh genius, 60, 50 plus 42 is more than 148. So I'm gonna do 60, 42, 42, and then the last one that's supposed to be 50 and 42, I'm gonna do 50, 50 on the last one. So change I go earlier on the picture, the measurements. The number 5 is 60, 42, 42, and number 6 is 50, 50. Hope that's clear. And now that I cut off all the small bits I need to make, I run them up at the end as well. And now I can proceed from the 3 millimeter to prepare the 75 and the 74. And then it's gonna be all sorted for the 2. Get ready for the 3, for the 4, run them up all together and paint them in ochre yellow. Yeah, or yellow ochre. Depends how you call it. Depends how it's written in there. Probably it's written in Spanish anyway, because it's Vallejo. So let's get on with it. So I was painting in black the yards, which are basically the sticks, in horizontal sticks on the masts. And I realized there's no measurement for a main yard for the main mast, which would be this one here. They got this one wrong. This one, according to Mr. Google, should have been 120 millimeters on a 200 scale, and they told me to cut 110 millimeter, which is fine, because from 95 you still have 7 millimeters each side of margin, so I can live with that. This one down here is 140 the sail, both of them, and it needs to be 145. The only thing is that it needs to be a 145 in 4 diameter, which I haven't got. So I'm gonna build it with a 3 millimeter. See how it goes. I wanted to use this one here and move it over there, but this one here is only 130, 132, which is fine for the 130. Yeah, it's bent anyway, 125 at the bottom, but 132 on a 140 is gonna be too short. So I'm gonna make it with a 0.3, and then on my travels, if I come across 4 millimeters, like an hobby shop, whether it's called Hobby Mart, I'm gonna get 4 millimeters and cut a 140 from it. So I got all my sticks back, and I painted in black the ones I needed to paint it black, and then on all of them I put some floor polish just to make them a little bit more like resilient, I guess. What I'm gonna do for the mast I was saying here on the middle mast, I bought 4mm. It's gonna arrive in a couple of days. In the meantime, I'm gonna build up the masts. What I've done, I put this crow's nest on it already because I built them, so I slide them from the top. They go a little bit tight, but that is okay. So I put them there, and then I'm gonna connect the following the nest piece in the assembly of the mast. For example, on this one here is gonna be these two, and then connect the first one with this, and then put some thread, black thread all around it. So I'm gonna fix it with some glue first, and then I'm gonna put some black thread and see what it looks like. So this one is the main mast, for example. I could have whittled in a little bit more there, but because I wasn't sure about the length, I thought that was enough. And then I'm gonna just put some thread in here, but I need to put a little bit of space in between the two woods, so it doesn't come to an angle, it stays a little bit more straight, and we're gonna do that. So according to the instruction, the distance between this board and the crow's nest is gonna be 21mm. So I marked a tiny line for 21mm, which is down here. I'm gonna put, if I put this one level with that, and I scroll this one up, is pretty much straight. So I'm gonna do that. I didn't take the measurement from this one to the crow's nest, but from the end of the pole, because otherwise it's gonna make it shorter and shorter and shorter. And then I'm gonna keep this one to the extreme and then bend it at the bottom. It should look okay. I don't know if you can tell, but I got a tiny piece of wood with made a tiny engraving on the side to put in between the two poles and do like a wedge in between them and organize the space at the right distance. And I'm gonna glue this up at the 21mm spot and then attach the other one on top. And what it looks like. Now I'm gonna wrap a bit of thread at the top and at the bottom, and once it's done, then I'm gonna pull up the crow's nest and fix it. I don't know if you can see it, but what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna prepare just a simple plain knot, square knot, I don't know what they call it. I've never been good at knots, but yeah, one of these ones. Pass it around, all the way down here, on top of the extra wooden bits that puts on, if it doesn't get stuck on the copious amounts of super glue that just applied. But yeah, it's supposed to be down here, and the knot is undone, of course, and that's why you do it first, because it's easier to make it first. So let's try all over again. And also this thread is too small. It's not a scale, of course, but being my first ship, I can't afford to buy the proper thread, can I? I already bought a new, well, I bought a black blender, I got the new number 4 for the mass section, so one thing, but and also I was hunting to put extra cannons on the ship as well. So let's see how it goes when it's finished. But yeah, we got a little knot here, just a tiny bit of glue to fix it. And bit of glue all around it anyway, just in case. So we can fix this one. The leftover from the short bit we can still roll it around. And there's enough glue for it to stick. And then now we're gonna roll this one around, trying to avoid these ugly gaps, of course. So I roll and squeeze it and pull it up. Does it make sense? Yeah. So let's keep these on the side and then roll it and pull it up. Roll it and pull it up. Roll it and pull it up, make it tight. Yeah, it's possible. Just a bit of patience. Probably can't see anything on the camera. What I do when I roll the string, I sort of pull it sideways a bit to sort and get the other ones a bit tight all together. So I'm gonna work on this one, do the one on the top, and see you after that. I just had a look at the video that just then I realized that yeah, most of the time it's out of the screen. It's difficult to twist to keep it in the screen, but basically I'm rolling this around, and then every time I roll it up I try to put the cables together, pushing them together like that. That should work. And that's what it looks like once I pull up the crow's nest. I'm gonna do the same over here, and this time it's 30 millimeters. I'm still doing the stern mast, yeah, so I'm gonna do this and then show you the finished mast. And here it is, the stern mast completely finished. I'm sure you could have done a better job with this platform at the front, but it's quite complicated. I had to break it and put it back on again. And here it is with all the masts made and the gaff made. Of course I haven't glued them in yet because I want to prepare the sails and the bars for the sails. But yeah, there it is. Of course it's gonna be more straight once I glue it in. But yeah, it's a detail. Quite happy with it. I had to prepare the templates to cut down the sails from the fabric, from the sail fabric. It's a very simple design. I could just freehand it, but since it seemed to me that these drawings were quite on scale, quite precise, so I did that. So that this piece here is supposed to be 100 millimeters, so 10 centimeters, and on the ruler it marks as a between 4.2 and 4.3 centimeters, so 42 and 43 centimeters. So to make it that's 100 centimeters. I divide 100 by 42, and then it tells me how many times do I need to zoom in to make the next print. So as I said, so I did 100 divide 42. It gave me 2.38. So when I went to my printer, I set up to print on a scale of 238 higher, 9 pixels in actual percentages, and I've got the print divided in more pages, and that's what I got. So this is the original, and that's multiplied by 2.38. Now if I measure this one, that's supposed to be 10 centimeters, is 10 I mean this one is supposed to be 6 centimeters, for example, is 6 centimeters, just over 6 centimeters. It doesn't get to 6.1, just over. And of course, the more you go high, the more you go a bit extra. For example, this bit here, this one here, the 100 millimeters, 10 centimeter, it comes up at 10.2, which is not a big deal, but this is due to the fact that when I measured this bit, I called it 42. It was in between 42 and 43. Now if it was 42, it would give me 2.38. if it was a 43, 100 divided by 43 is 2.32. So averaging between 2.38 and 2.32. I should have done 2.35 to have a precise amount, but it's 9 prints. I didn't want to do another 9 prints. Anyway, 2 millimeters on this distance is irrelevant. I just cut it a tiny bit shorter by hand. I cut it within the lines possibly, and it's gonna be okay. But yeah, it depends on the settings on your printer. It may be wrong, you may need to adjust it anyway, but next time I count the decimal points as well. So now I'm going to proceed into translating these ones on top of a piece of canvas. Of course, it's going to be straightforward for these ones here. When I go compose picture, I need to stitch them up, and have a picture. Let's make it clear over here. For example, this sail here, which is split in between 2 pages, I need to cut it out, put it together, and then adjust it like that. So maybe even without cutting it out, I know it's 140. I'm gonna put here the distance. There's 140 and there's 95 at the top, and then glue it together and then cut it. So that will work. So for clarity, I cut off this piece of sail here that was attached to the other one, then I put it on top, and I put some sellotape on top. It's gonna be easy to do it now with a big piece of paper and small pieces instead of having 2 small ones. So just stick it down on top of it, overlapping a tiny bit, and then I'm gonna do the rest as well underneath, and then I'm gonna cut them all together. And when I put it on the piece of paper anyway, I will only need the references of the corners, put dots in there, and then draw it. I'm not using these as like a mask, because it's gonna be too flimsy on fabric anyway, and probably the ink is gonna go all over the place. So I think that's gonna be perfect. Now, as if by magic, there are all the sails ready to be put. I'm gonna mark on the fabric the distance, the corners, and also mark the edges of the lines, and then I'm gonna paint the lines as well, and then I'm gonna cut them. Let's start with a smaller sail and see if this system works or if we need to make any adjustments. So first of all, we get the four corners of the apocalypse, which would be one here, one here. I need to be fast because this thing gets sucked in. Okay, maybe I need to choose another pen. Let's try another pen. Let's try with this one here. It's a dark red that looks like a brown, and brown stitching would be okay on the sails. So let's try again with this one. I just moved it around to avoid the dots already done. It's a fine point as well, so that should be even easier. Okay, so we got the four dots. Now we need to connect them. Also think it makes sense if I keep the sails in the same direction as the grain of the fibers, so when I cut it, it's gonna be less fibers going around. Yeah, I think we can work with this. I think we can work with this. Okay, so we got the sail. Now let's do the dots for the lines. Dot doesn't need to be inside. I can do a tiny bit out and then I connect it, as long as this is parallel anyway. So one, 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 one. Okay, we got these ones on the top. Let's do the bottom as well. Let's put it lined up here, and then I'll do a tiny bit out. So it's gonna be here. I hope my hand is not in the way of the camera. Right, straightforward. And then as usual, I do one, and then if I'm happy with it, I'm just gonna do the rest. I show you everything at the end. So this one was without lines, just straight away in there. Maybe I'm gonna do the one next to it just to have a better reference, and then yeah, I think we do have a winner with this red marker. as I said, it says red, but it's really brownish maroon thingy. Yeah, even for the stitching effect, I think that's literally the best option we could have come up with. So this one is easy because it's right there. Tricky one is gonna be this one at the start, so I can't really see where we're going. I just make it up. Yes, that's it. I still know where we are. There you go. Sweet. Very sweet. So yeah, I'm gonna do all the other ones. I'll see you later on. And here they are, all my nails marked down. I did an extra bit here by mistake, but good thing it was on the outside, not on the inside. It's no big deal. What I'm gonna do now, also I went over there with a black marker when I was in between, because you can do 5 at a time and then you get cross-eyed. So when I went back I used the black pen instead of this one, but yeah, then I moved this sideways. I did the rest. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna cut them and then put them straight away in a solution of PA glue and water, so they get a little bit more crisp, resilient, and hopefully the sides won't frail up too much. I'm gonna try first the color doesn't melt inside the solution, and then I'm gonna do that and then put them to dry. You may say, why don't you put the glue first and then you cut them? Because the scissors are not mine. They belong, as you can tell, to someone else. So well done. I prepared a test solution, 50-50 PA glue and water, and then a little bit of fabric. I put some lines for reference to see if there's any seepage or melting, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna dunk it in it and see see if it works. This may even be all wrong, I don't know. Okay, so this doesn't work because the color gets all spread out. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just put some glue on the edges of the fabric and leave the rest alone, because I don't want to smudge the line of the sails. They look so nice with the lines in it. So that's it. Well, try and learn. So test number 2 then. I'll prepare another little bit of fabric with some lines and just see if I just dip the edge on with a bit of glue, just pure glue, and see what happens. It doesn't seem like it's gonna ruin the print. I'm gonna let it dry for a little bit, because I don't want to start cutting and then I don't know what to do with the thing and then they start fraying up from the edge. So I'm gonna let this one dry, see what's the outcome, and then see what to do with it. And now that this cloth dried, maybe you cannot see, but I can feel like a tiny edge here. It's protected from frame probably. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just cut down the sails with the scissors and then paint a bit of glue on the edges, and that should be enough to make it live a little longer, I guess. And here are all my 14 sails. I cut them slightly outside of the line just because so it looks a little bit of stitching. Yeah, of course it's not always 100%. Sometimes I might have gone in a little bit, but I did try to preserve this sort of stitching. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put a newspaper at the base, put them backwards, and then paint some glue on the edges. So just some normal PVA glue, which I always call PA, as you know, and just turn it around, dip it in there. There's no science about this. Hopefully it's gonna be good enough. I need to remember that I will need to do, of course I went off camera, I need to do at the top, I will need to put a string on it as well. So as it is now, just let it rest and then see you later on. I found out that where I put the glue, because I was a bit generous, the color sort of seeped through a little bit. There's no smearing by seep through, so I'm gonna put the glue everywhere, and it's gonna give a little bit more consistency to the sail itself. My sail is all dried up and all the color went through, the lines went through. Just this little bit missing over here. I may add a tiny bit more glue just to make it seep through a little bit. Not a big deal anyway. Well, we'll notice from the front, from the back. It's not a big deal. At the top up here as well. I don't want to mess it up. Also because I need to glue something else on it. I need to put a little bit of string on the, I don't know how you call it, trailing edges on the side they are attached to the masts, just to give it some to the side rigs, just to give it some little bit more rigidity. So to see which size they are, of course these sails are straightforward. There's going to be the ones at the top, so this bit over here is going to be attached, and then this one, for example, let's say this one here, you see if this sail is this sail here, I'm gonna do all the sizing in contact with the wood sticks. I'm sure there's a technical term for it, just write it in the comment, but basically I'm gonna put rope here, just to make it sturdy, and then I can tie to it. And same I'm gonna do for the others. It doesn't seem to me that I do have all the sails. So we go stern sail, which is this one here. Then we got this one that goes with the stern as well. Main sail, which is gonna be 1, 2, 3, and 4 sail, 1, 2, 3. Then I do have a gaff topsail 1 and 2. It's gonna be these two here. Then I have these 3 sails here. Now these 3 sails here is not these ones at the back. I guess it's gonna be 1, 2, and 3. These 3 at the front. So I'm missing this mid one here and this mid one here, which I could come up with it and create it. That's gonna come later anyway. I need to put the masts up before doing the rigging between them. So once I put this mast up with the specific sails, if I got an inspiration to do a middle sail in between, I can do it. But as it is now, let's just do the bits I know I'm gonna put on. The system I come up to glue the rope to the sail is, I don't know if it's the best, but I really don't know how to do it. So what I've done, I prepare a sail, rope of a length a little bit more just in case. I was trying to use the single threads of the rope, but unravels completely if I do that. So I'm gonna put the rope in the position I want it to be without stretching it, and then sort of bending the sail back into a straight position, I would say, and little dot of super glue just to fix the rope to the sail in a few points, and maybe that's unnecessary, or maybe it gets through the sail. I have no idea. I know this is gonna be working. So, but I've done it on the other one, so I'm gonna do both sides with the same system, and then once the glue is dried up, I come back and double check. This super glue thing maybe superfluous and maybe makes more mess than anything else, but I just I feel like that is more stable, the process, if I put it in. So that's what I did at the bottom, and that's what I'm gonna do again at the top. So just hold it in place for a couple of seconds, make sure that they tie up the sail and the rope somehow, at least keep it still. Then what I've been doing, I've been basically splashing PVA glue at the top on the inside bit, and then spread it on the outside bit as well. The camera cannot see it, but literally just putting a strip of PVA glue in there, which I'm sure is too much, but still that would be what I've done on the other side. So once I go on this side, I'm gonna put it on the outside as well. Make sure there's no gap in between the sail and the rope, or the gap it is sort of filled in. Which seems okay to me, and then rub away the excess glue that I've got. Rub it away. At this point the sail should be already soaked by the previous glue, so it shouldn't do too much damage to the print, I guess. So that's that. I'm gonna let it dry, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 hours, whatever is needed, and then I come back, I check on it. If that works, I'm gonna do for the other ones as well. And the whole point of putting this rope is that eventually I'm gonna put the poles on top and then stitch it through, and the rope is gonna give that little bit more resistance to the stitching, I guess. So let's wait, see what happens. I'll see you later on. Once the glue was dried, I've been just stitching some maroon cable around the wooden stick as well, making sure to come out on top of the spots. I'm quite happy with it, so I think we're gonna go forward like this. I bought some fabric glue because I wasn't sure about using the PVA glue anymore, but actually once it dried up properly, is okay, and most importantly is easy to perforate with the needle when I go through. So I'm gonna carry on doing this way. Just in case, I'm trying the fabric glue as well, because it should have a faster drying time. I adapted with the flame the top of one of them super glue dispenser, and then I just attached this on it, and it looks quite neat. So I let it dry, see how it works. If it's better than the PVA glue, I'm gonna use this one. The good thing with this one is that I can be a bit more accurate in spreading it, so there's no smudges. It's gonna be right where it's needed. It seems to me that dries away straight away. There's no need for clamps to hold you on together, so that's quite promising. And of course the video I just did, I just removed the rope because that was at the bottom. I don't need the rope at the bottom, I'm only attaching it to the sticks at the top. So I removed it while it was fresh, and there's no marks. So yeah, very happy with it. So let's put the glue at the top now. Just to show how I put the glue, I put the rope on top like a millimeter at the back. I hold it to keep it straight, and then I'm gonna squirt a bit of glue on the edge between the rope and the fabric. Which, as you can tell with this adapter, it gets very neat. And now that I've done that, I'm gonna just slowly roll forward the rope to the edge, and then press it in place, and that should do the trick. Just for peace of mind, I may add a tiny bit more glue, like at the top where the stitching is gonna be, the top, which would be at the bottom. If it goes like that, stitching is gonna be on this side, so I may add a tiny bit, which it seems to me it may even get slightly absorbed by the rope, and then sort of link to the canvas of the sails. Yeah, be a bit generous, just to see what's the, again, wipe it off like that, just to see what the drying time is, and if I can pierce it with a needle. Well, I glued up all the ropes on the top bit of the sails. Not all the sails, because the 3 sails at the front, these 3 sails here, I'm not putting a rope on because they're gonna be hanging from the thread and not from a stick. So rope from the rope. But this one is done, and now just to make sure, I'm gonna put in a dehydrator, very low temperature, not for long. I don't want it to dry too much, and then start stitching the other one. And just a short clip to show how am I stitching the sail to the stick. Make sure it's nice and taut, and then that's the hole in there. Make sure it doesn't interfere with the previous one at the back. Pull it, and that's it. And you don't need a girlfriend anymore. I don't know how much of this came on video. I zoomed this so much just for your benefit, so I'll do it again. So make sure it doesn't interfere. Yeah, and then pull it. And you can cancel your subscription to Tinder from now on. Third time, third for luck. Yeah, it's difficult to keep it in the screen. I'm trying, but I'm moving around too much. And then make sure it goes on the other side. It doesn't get under the wood. And then when you get to the end, you do a couple of double knots, and you'll be alright. Now, attaching the lower horizontal bar, we're doing at the moment the stern sail. So it's gonna have one bar here, one bar here, and another one underneath. As you can tell here, 1, 2 and 3, just to attach the thing. So this one was straightforward. For this one here, I'm gonna make a tiny bit of space in between the bar and the sail, so I can go with a needle through, just a tiny bit of space in between here, making sure it's not glued up. And then I'm gonna pass it around. Well, not this one anyway, it's this one here, and then I'm gonna do the same on the other one. So 5 spaces each side. It leaves me the 2 in the middle, and a bit of space to get in with the needle through here. So it's all gonna start like this, and pass it around a few times. This is supposed to be attached pretty much here, just below the crow's nest. So I'm gonna do that and tighten it up. See, I went through there. I'm gonna pull it. Then loop it around. I need to do it away from the camera because I want to avoid all this. But you go like this, all around, sideways, crossways, and tighten it up. Well, it seems to me that the result is quite alright. I'm gonna do the same for the one on the top. I can put a little bit of strings on the side. I'm gonna do the same for the one on the top. And the second one is done as well. One might say they look a little bit flat, but then once I put them on, I'm gonna put some space in between here, wet them and let them dry with a bend. It's gonna be a bit more natural, I guess. Or a sponge, and then a wet sponge or something, and then let them dry. Now the tricky bit is gonna be to attach this down here. Let's see what we come up with. I think we're done our share for today. I need to rest my fingers and my eyes. So apart from the 3 sails at the front, which would be 1, 2, 3 down here, I've been stitching the other ones on the little wooden support. But now, before I put them on the mast, I need to attach on this this and this little section, they're supposed to go, I got some cable, they're supposed to go like this and like that, and they are the extensions for when they were pulling like a full sails out. So I want to do it in a manner that is not too, because it's not functional anyway, you haven't got sails for it, it's just aesthetic, it's just gonna be the stick sitting on the top. So I'm gonna do like a little metal latch with the using bean bags, clips, wraps, straps, how you call it, ties, bean bag ties, and I'll try one, see if it how it works, and then if it works I'll do all the other 1, 2, 3 and 4. By the way, when I say these ones, I'm going to use just the metal inside. I'm not using the plastic bit outside, yeah? Just making sure we are cheap, but not that cheap. Well, as you can tell, it's too small to show you what I've done. But basically, I took one of these ones, took the metal out, which comes out with as a little metal string, like this, yeah? Bent it in half. Imagine this is the string bent in half, so you have this sort of noose on one side. Now if this is the black stick, let's see, there's a black stick and the sail underneath. I put in between the sail and the stick, between 2 stitches, I put these two on front. This is the front, this is the back. So I put these two on, and then I do this, and then I'm gonna have put this on. I got only 2 hands. Let's try again. So that's the stick with the sail underneath. I put this under the sail, in between the sail and the stick. Turn it up. Basically it is a figure of 8. Then this comes back out again. I twist it at the back, this side and this side. Eventually I'll do it. It's also difficult with a USB cable. And then pass it inside. And then once everything is in place, I give it a nice tightening. It's gonna be less messy in this, I'm sure. Well, difficult to explain. It doesn't really work with a cable, but yeah, that's what it looks like. Other things, it looks much neater. So rabbit in the hole, rabbit outside the hole, rabbit chasing by the dog runs away, the fox arrives and eats the rabbit. Simple. Maybe I can show you better here without the sail underneath. Basically the rabbit inside under the tree, it goes around the tree, chased by a dog. There's 2 rabbits, one left and right, and then gonna put this inside the hole and then pull it and twist it. Well, I know it's impossible to understand, but yeah, that's what it's gonna be like. And the first one looks fine, so well, good luck. So these are the two for the main mast. I'm quite happy with it. So I'm gonna do the front one now. Same thing. Very happy with it. And that's the other two down as well. Very, 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 very happy with it. But now it's time for me to rest my eyes and my neck. And now they are attached the sails to the main mast. I realized it's a little bit better to do like I did now, with a bit of overlap in between the sails, because the one at the back was looking a little bit weird with this gap in between. But hopefully once I put some a little bit of inflation, well, gust of wind in it, it's gonna look a little bit better. But definitely this one is gonna look the part from now straight away. Let's have a look. Difficult to do it with one hand, but yeah. So I'm gonna fix this one here and then do the front one as well and fix it, and only after that, when I've done all the side riggings and the rat lines, then I'm gonna attach the single sails to their own beam over here. So let's do the ones that need space first. Now they have become quite proficient at attaching the sails to the mast. Just a quick recap what to do. So there's the sail I'm supposed to put on the top end of this mast. Always start from the bottom all the way up. It just makes more sense to me. It's more practical. So that's the one I'm supposed to stitch on. That's easier because I got the lines, so I'm counting the lines in a way that I find the two middle sections. So 5 from this side, 5 from this side. These two sections is gonna be the two middle ones, which is gonna be the ones next to the mast. I'll just make a tiny bit of space, make sure not to break the thread, and this tiny bit of space just to be able to get through with the needle. Now I got a little bit of thread, double thread with a little knot at the end, just a simple plain knot. And what I'm gonna do, so if these are the two ones I'm going through, I'm coming from this side nearly all the way through. Where is it? So nearly all the way through, you see it's coming there. And one is not much left. I'll just double it again, make sure not to go on top of the other one, make it come out on the second one, and same again, not interfering with the other one. And once I nearly pulled it in, then I go and catch the very first one. Let's go the knot on, and that sort of secures the thread to the sail. Yeah, it's difficult to keep it in the camera while I'm doing all this, so let me pull it in a way. I'm gonna pull it in a way that the knot is hidden down here, and then I'm back to you. So I'm back. As you can tell, I pulled it in, the knot is hidden down there, and now I'm working in between basically these two sections, and this is where the let's make a bit of space. This is where I'm gonna put this one on. Now I have a little bit of overlapping between this sail and the one underneath. Make sure you leave a little bit of space here, a little bit of overlapping here. It looks nice and neat. And then this, we wrap it around a couple of times like this. And then this, we wrap it around once like this, and then we start threading it. And of course I'm going to thread it back, front, crisscross, sideways a few times till when I get to the end, and then I'm going to put a spot of glue and fix it and cut it, and then clean, put some more glue all around it and make it neat. So straightforward, 5 minutes job. And same again, the foresail mast is ready, and I can put it in and position it, and then proceed to do the gaff. So once again, we know that the instructions for this boat with this ship are rubbish, and even the material was given. I got these sails, they are at the moment here, plus the three what do you call it, three jibs, spinnakers at the front here. So I'm gonna miss 2 sails in the middle here and 2 sails in the middle here. And I haven't got any plans for that. I've been trying to look at plans for measurements of the sails, and what I come up with, I found someone selling a kit of sails with all the 4 sails I need for the between. Of course I'm not gonna buy the sails, it's like 130 euros for the kit, but what I've done, I printed it. I know that my sail down here, it's 95 millimeter, and this one is 75 millimeters. So I just I did a mathematical formula. Basically I need to multiply this one for 1.26, same as I did for the old sail. So I did this printout, and that's a printout of the equivalent of 95 millimeters. As you see, that's perfect. My sail are 95 millimeters, so I got these measurements right for the sails. I'm gonna do the same as I've done with the other sails. Truss fix it to the cloth, and cut it and prepare it, and so we're gonna have the sails in between these bits as well. So I put the 2 bigger sails, the ones at the front, and didn't want to cut it through, so I used it. I did it like that, and then I bent it. I used that as a reference. I bent it over here as well. Then what I did to make the lines, I made sure that this was starting pretty much on the same level, and then I did dots every 5 millimeters, which is something similar to what I had on the previous sails, and then I did the same at the top as well. And then assuming that these two are pretty much on the same line, then I can do from this dot here to this dot here, and so on. And then once I'm done that, line it up to do the next ones, and then it's gonna be easier for the small sails later on anyway. But this one at the top is even easier because I put them keeping on the line from this one down here. The only thing is that doesn't follow the fabric, the lines of the fabric, so it's going to be a bit frayed on the side. And if I knew, I would have kept it more straight, because what I'm doing now, I did the 5 millimeters dots up and down, and that is big enough just to go between one and the other, and just do a line like that, since these ones are on the same line. So if I were to do it again, or if you are to do it for the first time, just put them in line with the fabric, and then the 5 millimeters, and then you do it. I don't want to do it again. Also managed to mess up this line here. Probably I need to zoom in to show you which, yeah, there. Not a big deal, but still pisses me off. I just don't want to do them again anyway. So, but here we are. And again, gentle brushing of PVA glue and water, 50-50, just to give it a little bit of stiffness. And the lines are gonna come through as well. not too damp, so it doesn't smear on the other side, but still it's gonna come through. And same as before, I'm gonna put a string, put it there, glue on the edge, and then roll it over, and then cut the edges. So all the sails are done with the ropes. I done even the tree at the front because I had to do it anyway to give you some support, and that's all good and ready to go. And just let it dry. And now after it dried up, I did all the stitching around the supporting rope, cutting the edges as well, and they are all ready to be attached to the final assembly. What I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna put like a thread through here, attach it to, make it a thread, 4 threads, and then attach it for where I need to place it on the boat, and it's gonna be good enough. So for clarity, I sewn a thread through here, double thread, double thread, double thread, and double thread at the 4 corners, and now I'm gonna tie it up to the masts. Hopefully it's gonna be good enough. Well, the result is quite decent. The thread on this one of the 2 threads came out, so there's only one, no, this one here, one going through. Honestly, there's no need for 2 threads, it just makes it more messy when you try and tie it up. So I'm gonna do a single thread from now on. It's gonna take much less time, less effort, and it's gonna look tidier. Let's do the one at the top now. And as you can tell, all this is taking shape quite nicely. So we're gonna do the same for the 2 sails over here in the middle now. If it helps you reaching the masts, you may even roll up the other sails just to have more access. These ones here, they're supposed to go down the bar. I'll stabilize them like that, and then I'm gonna run a second one down there for aesthetic reason, as long as they're straight, because this one is not too straight, so I don't want to have bad aesthetics, just to be more faithful, let's say. So let's make it look good first of all, and it seems to me it's quite a good effort. Now we're gonna put the 3 at the front here, the jibs, what they call the jibs, I think, and here are the 3 jibs sets. I'm sure it can be done in a even better way, even at this scale, but honestly, for the first try, I'm quite happy with it. Small things like be more level, be more proportionate, or getting the right tension and the right distance, I'm sure they can be improved on, but hey, you have to start somewhere. So I'm gonna let it dry and make sure it's sturdy, and then I'm gonna start doing the rat lines, and that's why I bought some coxswain sticks that looks like cannon to fill the gaps, but I'm gonna put them on after I do the rat lines and the anchor, and then we're getting close to the end. Well, I've been trying to make a bigger hole for the rigging, because these holes down here literally are too small for anything to get through it, so sort of made it a little bit larger. I still is going to be a problem to thread it through. What I'm gonna use, I've been trying to use rigging, or the rigging 0047. This is literally thinner than a midget pubes. So I don't know, I don't want to make a mess. What I'm gonna do, well, forget the rat lines. It's gonna get just too messy. If I can attach some rat lines from the sides, otherwise I will just connect the sails a little bit more in between the tree, in between the masts. I'll leave it like that. I don't want to ruin it after I put so much effort in it. Yeah, this is definitely not working. So what I'm gonna do, I bought online some rat lines and photo etched, scale 1 to 350, which this is 1 to 200. It should be, I should be able to fit it in. I'm gonna do that. In the meantime, I'm gonna attach all the loose bits of the sails to a decent part, an appropriate part, and then attach the anchors and put the extra cannons. And when the thing arrives in 4 or 5 days time, I'm gonna give it the last rights and finish it as good as it can go. Sorry. So as I said, for the extra 14 cannons that I need, I'm gonna paint the bottom end of these cocktail sticks with black metallic. Let it dry and then cut them to distance to insert from the side of the ship. And for the anchor, I just managed to pass a tiny bit of rope inside the little hole in there, and then I'm gonna rest it on top of the 2 side arms. And so here is the anchor on one side, and of course the one on the other side is gonna be exactly the same. Now it's time to put the extra cannons in. Just to show, I'm preparing my last cannon, so I cut it pretty much this big. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just dip the side that goes inside the ship a tiny bit of PVA glue and just squeeze it through the window. Yeah, of course it's rubbish because I got only 2 hands, but I'm gonna put it better. But that's the principle anyway. So now you can see all these side little ports have been furnished with a cannon, and of course the ones closer to the waterline are closed for safety. I'm just waiting for the rat lines now. All the rest is done. I mean, I should have put really a name at the back, because this looks horrible written by hand, but hey, that's what you get. receive the rut lines. Actually, I watched this very good video on YouTube about rigging, and they're not called rut lines, but I can't remember. Rut. The way you pronounce it is like Rutlands. Very good video. By some the golden age of piracy or something. Very interesting. All the terminology I don't know. They know much better than me. Like every single sail, every single mast, every single gaffer or whatever. Okay, so these are the sizes we're looking at, which I think that could work, because I wasn't sure if 1 to 350 would have been too small, but now that I look at it, I may need to get more maybe. But if you look at the, let's put this on the side for a second without putting too much weight on it. Hopefully it holds. So the longest ones are these ones here, but they're all in pairs. There's a pair, there's a pair, there's two pairs of the same, and there's a pair. If it's only one, I think it's only one, but that should work, because this one, it may be a tiny bit on the shy side, little bit short. Put it on the side from here to there, but then I can put the longer one maybe. So let's open it. Let's open it and see if it's only one sheet and how long it is. Because then after that I'm gonna do some good again with this so it doesn't get bent. But I can't remember how much I paid. I think it was about £10 including delivery, which is various sizes for all rigged ships. Okay, so they go some plastic on top and at the bottom, which I guess is a good thing, so when you go and cut it, it won't fly all over the place. But what I want to do, I want to apply some metal primer. They are just got shipped from Hong Kong, just because it was a little bit cheaper than buying it over here. And come here, and then let it dry and then paint it in black, because of course the rut lanes is gonna be black. So the issue I got straight away is that these rut lanes are 1 to 350 and the ship is 1 to 200, so they are a little bit small. I couldn't find 1 to 200. I don't know if you know somewhere where to get them, please send me a link in the comments. But yeah, especially for this bit here, which is the longest, let's say length like this, it would even exceed the length of the longest one, which I can get away with it if instead of letting them start from these planks outside, if I let them start hidden inside here and then just under the coronet nest, is just sufficient. The only problem is that these ones here are very thin, are just like a two lines, and for me, especially on the main mast, I rather have the largest one. It just looks better. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use this little sort of grill and put this grill wrapped around the nest, the mast here, just to look like a grappling ladder for people to go on, and then run this shorter here, which is not that much shorter anyway. even compared to this one here. It's not that much shorter. So run this one here from the side to just under this sort of wraparound I'm gonna make here, and do the same for the other ones. So now I'm gonna allocate each one to the distance I want to cover, because at the end of the day I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 doubles. So see which is which, what can I use, and then I'm gonna put the metal primer on that and let it rest a bit. And to compare the real size of this rigging, this ratlins, I'm gonna do these are numbered, like number 2, this is number, you need to see close, this is etched in there. So that's number 2, that's number 3, number 4, these two, and number 5. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna prepare for each one of them, each size. Let's say this one here, number 5 and number 3, which is the big one there, is the one I want to use on the main mast. See the length, very flat at the top. See the length, and then do a line for how long it is at the base of the rigging, how long it is at the base of the total base of the second stick down here, and then write number 5 on it. No, that's number 3. So that's number 3, write number 3 and cut it, and do the same for each length. And then I know I can just put it next to the model and see if it fits properly. So in this case, if I'm using the number 3 on there, let's say, let's keep this in the screen, so then I know that the number 3 is gonna do, if I use it from the bottom, it's gonna arrive there. If I use it from the top, it's gonna arrive there. So if I use it from the top, really, and I'm careful to use the bottom bits, I may even avoid using the sort of a bent grate at the top. So yeah, we'll go like that. So number 3 goes for that either side, and now I'm gonna find out the other distances and write myself a map of what I'm gonna do. So if this is the top, that's gonna be number 3 here, and then we see the other ones. So I found that was the best compromise. Sorry about the reflection, but it's not easy to light up some etching. Wait for the next couple of days, I'm gonna have a solution for that as well. But in the meantime, if there's a ship with that's the front as the main mast, front and back, so I'm gonna use 3 at the bottom and 5, 4 and 2, 2 and 5, which if you had the same sprues, this is gonna be number 2, number 3 is 1 and 2, so that's the big ones for the main mast underneath. Number 4 as the ones at the front, and number 2 I'm gonna use 2 here and 2 here. Then number 5 are these thin long ones, which they are probably to be at the bottom, at the top. I would have preferred to have a thin one here instead of here, but these two are much longer than this one here, so it looks better that way, and it should work. So now I'm gonna just peel it and pass the metal primer on it. So there it is, metal primer, Tamiya, used as a primer on metal components such as photo etched parts to help prevent peeling. So not to be taken internally. Well, good to know. Not to be taken internally. Oh, so I'm gonna do, because I'm gonna do back and front, I'm gonna do the back, and then this comes out easily. I'm gonna do the front, passion everywhere, and then possibly stick this one back on and peel the other side and do the back, I guess. I don't know, first time I'm using this. I haven't seen many videos really either. So, but that's supposed to be straightforward, just put it on. The only thing is that you don't really know where you put it or not. Let's see what's the spread. Yeah, it should be quite encompassing. So I'm gonna put on these bits as well that I'm not doing, just for the future. That's gonna be ready. You may say that I could have put them on and then, because it's with the applicator, paint it on situ, on the place straight away, which I could have done, but because I've seen already on the ship when I paint, I'm gonna be painting in black afterwards. With a brush, is gonna go through all the netting and sort of spray at the back. Oh, that's sandy. I don't really want to get involved with, so I'd rather do it over here and then do everything in black. It smells nice. It's like popper. It's gonna make someone happy. So done that, I'm gonna let it dry. I'm not even putting in the D8 razor because I don't want it to bend another. I'll let it dry as it is and come back later on to do the back bit. So I passed the metal primer on one side, I let it dry for possibly an hour, maybe two. Then I put the plastic back on, peel the other side, and pass it on the other side. And now it's been overnight, it's dry. As you can see, there's no smudges. Apparently this metal primer is safe to pass it on top of plastic, so if you put the etched parts, you glue them on a plastic part, and then you can paint everything all together. So that's good. Doesn't seem to me any smudges or any sort of blemishes. That's good. What I'm gonna do now, just get some black primer and paint all black on one side, let it dry, and then I paint the other side. It's nothing to show you, just a black primer from well, yeah, paint it on and let it dry. See you later. So after painting both sides, it seems like there's a tiny bit of overflow filling, maybe something I can go with a needle and clean it. Maybe it's even more dramatic down here because I guess the holes are smaller. What I did, I went on top of the paint with the marker and try to wet it a bit and see if we can take it off. And maybe it's a tiny bit better, maybe not, maybe just in my head. You see, now this one disappeared, so I'm gonna do a tiny bit of cleanup like this. Maybe it's better than using a needle, and possibly next time I'll just use the marker instead of using the, see, it's a bit better, instead of using the paint, because the thing is that the primer is quite thick as a paint. If I was watering it down, wasn't sort of laying down properly on the metal, so it's all try and error, isn't it? So I'm gonna do some cleanup with a marker. Well, I did a little bit of cleanup. There's only minor things left. So also because when I was painting on top of the plastic, most of the stuff was being left on the plastic when I was putting it off. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start cutting off one by one the ratlings on it, and then I think I'm gonna start from the front to the back. So possibly do this, and then maybe this, and then this, and this, and this, and this. As I go along, see what makes sense while I'm doing it, because I need to do both sides as well. So first thing I need to do is cut off number 4. So I managed to cut off this little bit in here, which was straightforward. The only thing is that it's just one clip here, here, and here, here. Just press on it, it cuts off. Thing is that the gap in between was full with paint, so I had to clean a little bit. And sometimes when I go and cut, sort of peels off the paint I put on. So I know for the next time, I may give it the the primer, but the actual painting I'm gonna do it in situ. But anyway, let's now attach this number 4 to the place I've chosen. So that's where I'm gonna attach number 4, and I think the best way would be to just put it on, place it on with a small set of pliers. Yeah, of course I dropped it already, but that's why I'm starting from the front, so it's a good time to go a space working through the ones at the back. So if I were to put it like here, place it here like this I can place it from the outside really. It's gonna be fiddly doing it on the under the camera, but I just thought if that's in there, possibly it's better by hand really. I'll just do it by hand. So square bit, I already bent the little leg down here, which I don't even know if I'm gonna use it, but yeah, that's supposed to be like this, which actually does look nice. It does look nice. At the front and the inside, if I can, I put it on the outside, because that's where it really supposed to be placed. So yeah, I'm gonna do it like that, and just put a spot of glue on the where it's supposed to be holding, which should be alright. That's it, and too much glue. I go to the end of this thing, and possibly it's too big. I need to go back and put another cap, like a smaller one. But now for the time being, for this one here, let's do this. Let's do this, and possibly it's gonna work properly. Because it takes time to dry this side, I'm gonna do maybe the one at the top, and then all of the ones on this side, and then go on the other side. But yeah, as you see, it's a very simple process. So I'm gonna carry on and put all the others on, and we see what happens at the end. So as I said, for the main mast, I put this little grill at the back just to gain a little bit of space, and then I managed to attach this on the outside, which I think it looks better than having it somewhere on the inside. So let's see if we can get you a better view of the grill. That's this sail in the middle. Can just move it a bit, but yeah, that's what I did, which looks okay in my opinion. So now one side of the ship has been done. I'll let it dry, couple of hours. Maybe I come back later on to put another little tick of super glue just to make sure, and then later on I'm gonna flip it aside and do the other side. But yeah, I'm very happy with it. It would have been better to do the painting afterward with the marker, but hey, you have to learn somehow. Well, happy to report all the ratlings have been placed on this side as well, so I'll let them dry. You're gonna see this one at the back. I'm gonna give some detailed picture later on anyway. As usual, I'm gonna post pictures at the end of the video, so I'll let it dry, and then the only thing I got left to do is just secure these extremities somewhere on the ship, and then that'll be it. So nearly there. And the Victory is finally finished. I didn't realize I already had these two wired up, so I only had to do these two here. These attached there, and this attached to the poop deck. Quite happy with it. The instructions were a nightmare, and rigging, of course, is not accurate, neither perfect, but hey, it's my first time. I consider a good effort. You may notice two things are missing, which is the flag and figurehead. I'm gonna find something and put it on eventually someday. Same goes for the flag, and for the rest I think we're pretty much done. So as usual, I'm gonna post some pictures at the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and press the subscribe or at least the like button. I'll see you soon on my canal.